Hello everyone, today we're going to be building a city in Ark Survival Ascended on the Ark Ragnarok map located here in the Viking Bay area. As you can see, we have a huge flat area, mostly flat area. There's a few bumps here and there. That leads all the way out to the water. We will be building all the way out to the water so we can actually incorporate things like a cool little dock here, a fishing dock, and maybe even a custom boat. We'll see as time allows. Now, before you go through and get started when building, it is important to understand you need to clear out all the resource nodes. And the fastest two creatures to do that with is going to either be a Phasalasuchus, as they can dive underground, and they can quickly go through and break down all of the trees in an area, and they can also very quickly deal with all those really small annoying rocks that usually you would manually have to break down. Because the only other creatures who break rocks are going to be Doics, or Doids, and Enkies, for example, and or pretty much all the ones who break rocks are really small creatures. They're just not great to break rocks, so Phasalasuchus is like 9 times out of 10 who I pick to clear an area, but you can also go through and use a Meguana, as they do excel at breaking down the trees and also the actual respective bushes, which you can see we do still have quite a few here. Now for the time being, we're just going to leave those in place. We'll deal with those in a little bit. I do want to go through and just get the outline here for the actual base build. Now looking at this area, we are kind of in a canyon or a box, so we're going to go through and line it up with this rock here in the corner. And then this will also semi-line up here with the mouth of the skeleton. And then coming over here, we want to try and maybe line it up on this side of the bone here. So it may take a couple of different placements, and then of course we'll just run this out to the water here, and that will run alongside that other bone, which these pieces of terrain are not removable. They are stuck there, so that's why we want to work around those pieces of terrain. So let's go through and start here in the mouth. What we're going to do is we're going to look to see, all right, here is a good spot. We're lined up with the rock. I'm going to place this, but now I'm going to go over here. Whoops, can I move? I cannot move. All right. You know what? We can easily just pick it up. We're just going to place this here for now. And then we're going to look over here to see. I actually think that might be a pretty good spot. Let me just give you my coordinates here. So by the way, here is the map for Viking Bay. It's in the top left corner of the map. Currently, though, we're at 21.3, 31.4. That's where we place this actual tile down. So let's go through and build then. I think this should be a pretty good spot to go through and get started. Far enough away from everything so we can actually get a full line. We may have to go through and make them slightly higher at certain points, as there are a couple of little hilly spots considering how big this location is going to be. But we would need a really big area. I want to make sure we can incorporate like cities and streets into it, maybe even alleyways or stairs going up and down different levels. That would definitely be pretty cool. So we did have a little bit more room to work with here. We can go through if we want. Let me see if we can place down. Is there room for a second? There is. Let's go through and we're going to use this instead. We'll make this too wide, this walkway here on the outside. See if we can fill this in here. And we're basically just going to be creating a really nice outline. I am thinking we will paint the walkways at the very end so they're not so just ugly with this natural color here. But everything in this build will be vanilla. There will not be any mods, so it should be easy, maybe not easy to replicate, but if you want to replicate it or take certain elements from this build and incorporate it into your world, you can certainly do so. And that's looking good, because if we do another one, we're going to run into the mouth, and we want to avoid that from happening. So now that we've done that, we've almost hit the wall here. We can keep going. I think this might be a good stopping point, so let's go through and just take out our sickle here real quick. And we can eliminate these bushes. It's pretty fast with the sickle. It's way faster than breaking the rocks with the pick, which is why I just prefer these Phasalasuchus, because the rocks are kind of the most tedious aspect of things. All right, now we've done that, we'll clear this side out real quick. We will need to pick up that one there on the ground. That is a tree. We can break this one down. I think the mushrooms are fine. And then this, and then we'll put this away. We can pick this one up, and this one up, and then we will just break down this tree here. And that should be everything. So let's go through and stand up on the edge here. And can we do one more? I think we could do one more. I'm thinking that's good. I don't want to make it too crazy. I mean, we could run it all the way to the wall. You know what? It sticks out right here. So if we go any higher, that might get in the way. Let's just do that. And I think we're going to hit a point. So we could, if we wanted to, we could raise it up. For the time being, we're just going to leave it as is, and if we feel we need to raise it up later, we can go through and do that. This is simply just going to be a rough outline. That's all you do when you first start, is make a general idea. We can quickly adapt as we see fit, and we're going to be splitting this up into individual sections here. So we can just go through and figure out what we want to do. Trying to look at it as a huge giant build can be a little bit challenging at times, so we want to break it up into easier sections to digest. We're good here. We'll go through and get off our buddy. Is that a rock here that we have to break? Oh, that was a giant piece of poo. Thanks for your gift, friend. And we can finish this out. We may have to place a lower foundation. We'll see here. And what are we being obstructed by? Just this here. Break down some wood. Awesome. And then we should be able to build this all the way out. One more thing here. I do think this is pretty good, though. We're all the way to the water, which is exactly what I wanted. And we can get this one here. Beautiful. And this one here. And then lastly this. Then I think we're home free. And then we can go work on the other side here. Let's place this down right here. As you can see, we can lower if we wanted to. We will figure that out for now or later. Okay, that's good. We're all the way to the water's edge. Now let's go over here and let's do the same thing. So we want to line it up with that rock. I think this is probably the best place to do it. I don't think we want to go any farther. So let's just go through and fill this space in all the way over here. And there is a dillo, but we do have the settings in creative to leave us alone, so we will not get interrupted here. But overall, this is actually a really safe area, Viking Bay. The worst thing you will find is a Megalosaurus, which typically spawns just right over there sometimes. But that's usually the only major threat in the area. Okay, so something weird just happened. When you're building, because foundations can snap above and below, as you can see, it actually snaps beneath the map. And if you're not in creative, I don't know if there's a legitimate way to get that out of the ground. You would have to go through and build a ceiling here in place instead. So, for example, do we have these stone ceilings on us? I don't think we do. These are the quarter ceilings. I'm just going to enter the ghost mode for now to get this removed. Pull this out. It's unfortunate that it does that. I don't know why they clip beneath the ground like that. We'll go through and fill this in. But the alternative would be to build a ceiling and then just place walls down on the side. Let me show you what that looks like just so you get an idea of what I'm referring to, because if you're not in creative, you may not be able to fix that. This is just going to be this here. So you'll place down a ceiling like this, which does look kind of similar, and then you're just going to place down, you're going to want to use half walls. So if you're unofficial, you probably can't mesh them into the ground, and they will look like this here. Now, the inside over here won't matter because we're actually going to fill this in, and then on the outside later, anyways, we will be placing down walls on the outside, most likely for texture, because this looks way nicer than that. So realistically, this will look very similar. This is the fix. If your foundation gets stuck under the ground, you can just do this to work around that. For now, though, we'll just keep filling this in here with our foundations. Unfortunately, that does happen. I wish it wouldn't happen as often, but it does happen pretty often. And then we will keep going here. Oh, did not want that one. We'll come pick that up in just a minute here. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good place. We could probably have gone one more over, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Yeah, let's go one more over. I don't think we'll go a third one here, because I want to be able to build out like a dock here. So we're just going to keep... Oh, there we go. That place down below here. Whoopsies. Unfortunately, snap points can be a bit of a pain at times. They're not always your best friend. We'll fill all this in, and we'll fill this in here too. Let's see. I might be able just to walk up and do... Yeah, if I go a little slower, it should auto-snap for us, just like this. And we'll just do this. This should make it way faster. If we stay farther away, it avoids a lot of the snap points we would be experiencing if we were a whole lot closer. There we go. Filling this in nice. So we've got a 2-path on that side and a 2-path over here. And I am using stone because we're going to paint it, most likely a black color, so it looks like a road. We will experiment, though, with some darker grays and see how that looks as well. So if we want more of like a muddied kind of gravel path, we might be able to do that. All right, so we've got this all the way out. These are obviously not going to be even, I don't think, because the differences in the water between over there and here. Let me see. Yeah, it actually might be really close. I don't think I'm going to fill this in. I think this is pretty good for now. So what we'll do is, I know for sure this should definitely connect. I don't want to overlap the water, so let's go let's start at the edge of this water over here. Let's pick up these trees and we'll build the edge of the city here at the edge of this water. Can you break down for me, tree? Yes, you can. Crouching does help with some of these weird ones that are kind of meshed into the ground with the water. So yeah, with the water being right here, let's make this one, is this a good place? Yeah, this seems like a good place. We'll do this here. And we can just stand here, and I don't think you can run backwards. We'll just walk backwards. That way it just keeps the one snap point. This dillo is going to get trapped. These foundations are massive. They are high, though. That's just simply because there is a little bit of uneven terrain, so it does prevent us, or make it so we don't have to raise and lower them every couple. Having them this high just saves us some time. And again, they're going to be covered with the actual walls anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's break all this stuff down so we can place down the rest of them. And we'll clear this stuff out. Maybe, yeah, we're chopping it down. Nice, very nice. Perfect. I think we'll probably just get a rough outline of what the city is going to look like. I'm sure we'll probably break this up into multiple episodes. Might be like a short, limited series here for building. I think that would be a fun little thing to do. Now, let's fill this in. And I am using the stone for the pathways. We're going to use the wood to line out the different outlines for the houses here. We're using these different foundations so we can easily distinguish what is what and not just have a giant blob of just stone or wood. It'll make it really easy, kind of like look at a blueprint kind of here in Ark. Let's see. Now we're doing a grid-like city, so we will be doing everything based on grids and squares. If you want to freehand this and not have everything interconnected, and you want more natural roads with the actual terrain versus man-made roads, you could totally do that. You don't have to follow this grid-like pattern. You could still take ideas from this. I just thought using this grid, it reminded me a lot of Minecraft when I was growing up, so I figured I'd incorporate it here into Ark and see what is possible with a grid-like breakdown. The paint's going to be a huge game changer here for making things look less blocky. And we do have a lot of really cool items to work with. So this is our city area, and this here will be our kind of dock area. You know what? They actually might be even. It might be, if they're not even, they're really close. I think this one's just one longer than this one. So we might just even that out and place down one more foundation over here. I think that's even here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then over here we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, yeah, so that actually worked out. That's really nice. So this is going to be 9 by however many this is. I don't know if we want to count. We can count, I guess. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Okay, so it's an odd number running this way. And then we know that that is 9. I guess we can just count 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 3, and 4. So this is 44 by 43. So it's not entirely a box. It's actually, I think we said, I don't know, honestly, I can't remember. I can't remember what I just told you, but the numbers are going to be in this video. I know someone was going to ask me for the dimensions here, so there you have it. I just gave you all the numbers to work with. If you need those and you want to replicate it to a T, you now have those numbers to work with. Now, with that being said, let's go through and plot out our little city. I think what I want to have is I want to have one larger kind of pinnacle building. Most likely, I think, either in the back or in the middle, kind of being the representative of like this is a more established home, and then we want some smaller homes. So knowing that this here is the dock, I'm thinking we'll have kind of the more village, like the fishing huts maybe, more here on the front. So what we'll do is, if we know this here is one path, this is going to be immediately turned into a wooden dock. So we'll have wood coming out over here. I'm not going to worry about that. So on this side here, I think one is fine for the path because we're also going to incorporate wood on this side as well. So I'm okay with that. So what we'll do going here is let's make, I think we're going to use the adobe. Let's use the adobe. The adobe is going to be our yard or our extra space around the base. So we'll go through and do that like this. And then we will fill this in here as well in front of the house. And this here. And then we'll fill this in with wood. Just like that. Let me break down these bushes here. Get all this all broken down. And, because yeah, we're going to have to clear this space out eventually. Sadly, it's all too tall. Don't want nothing sticking through into our home. Get that chopped up. Probably could always do this ahead of time with the Megalana. I was just feeling a little bit too lazy. Okay, so now if we look at this here, we'll make this a very simple 2x2 hut. I think we'll do a couple of these along the starting area here. Now, how do we want the yard? I think what we can do is, if the yard goes all the way back, I do like that. So we'll do the yard. We'll do the yard on this side here, and then on this side. And then I think behind it, we will do one more. So it'll give it just a little bit of room, like some extra designs here on both sides. And then over here, we will build a road that runs between them. We'll make it too wide because one is kind of cramped. So kind of making us a housing development, but a more fishing-like area. And then let's repeat that exact same design on the corner over here. So we'll just go through and place down this here in the middle. I believe it was 4 wide here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we will go through and place down the wood here, just like that. And then we'll fill this in over here as well with this kind of yard-like structure. Oh, our Fasalasuka's in the way. Hey, bud. You need to get out now. Can he crawl over this? Uh-oh. There we go. He was getting a bit chunky. We will have to dispatch of that turtle here soon. And then let's fill this in here. So we have another yard. All right, so we've got, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Oh, and let's do the roadway as well. And go through and fill this in with the double road. That way you can actually walk past the house. Now what we can do is, I honestly do not remember the exact count here in the middle, so we're going to wait on that. I do think let's go through and add, let's just do these side by side. We're going to mirror this again right here. And we will do the same thing with the stone. We'll just rinse and repeat over here like that. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on that house there with the yard in the front. Just like that. And we're going to build the house right here. What we'll do is, I think we could have this just share one space here in the middle. So you have a walkway between the two. I kind of like that. That way it's not so cramped. And then we will fill this space in here with more of the yard. Yeah, I really like that. And then we will do the same thing over here. And then we will replicate the same thing over here as well. With this sandstone. 1, get the 2 here. And then we will build right here in front. So that's 2, 3, just like so. There we are. Perfect. Now let's get the walkway in place. Oh, hello. There's a dillo in there. Okay. I am liking how that's coming together. Now I want to do something different. I want to kind of make things, let's see. I still want this. Actually, you know what? It would be nice if we had 2 entrances to the dock. So let's go through and let's build a road in here. We're going to cut these sections off here so it breaks up the housing development. We will build some roads. Let's go through and eliminate these rocks here. These rocks, unfortunately, are some of the more annoying ones because these little ones you have to pick up by hand, which I don't know if they get in your way of building or not. Can I chop this bush down, please? There we are. I probably should do the same thing to these as we're going to have to do in just a minute anyway. Might as well just get out of the way while we're here. And thankfully we can just hold the button and it will chop them all for us. We don't have to keep pressing the same button. All right, now let's go through and fill this in. So we're looking at that there, and then we will do the same thing over here on this side, keeping things symmetrical for the time being. We will actually switch up the symmetry here in just a minute though. Just making this, oh no, oh thankfully it's not beneath the ground. You know, actually, that might be a good idea too. Let's do that. We put that lower, and I think we don't want it to be so flat. We want to have a little bit of dimension, but I think what I want is I want the dock to be the lowest area, and then I want it to gradually get higher. Now we're building on a flat space and not a mountain, so that might look kind of weird. But what we can do, I want like certain buildings to either be taller or more prominent. So I'm thinking, you know what we could do? This corner one could be like a tall tower, like a lookout tower almost. Like the same thing over there. And then this here could be more of like a little fishing hut. We've got our path, a pretty big area here. So then what we could do is let's build a pen, I think, or an area for creatures. So we'll go through and place down, I'm thinking 4 is probably a big enough space on this side here. We'll place this down right here. Do I like that? I do kind of like that because it does break up this pathway here. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's take a look, see if we can, what we can see once this is done. All right, so we have that. I do like that. So what we could do now is we will essentially just run the road on the outside of this area. Again, we will stick to doing 2. I tried 1 before and 1 just seemed... Uh-oh, I think I did it again. I think we accidentally had something snap beneath the mesh. Yes, we did. Such a pain. All right, we'll fill this in here and that there. Now we do have these sand piles. You can pick them up by hand. You can also use the whip and it should quickly go through and grab a bunch of the sand. It's way faster than doing it by hand. So we'll just you can actually get more than 1 pile. There we go. All right, now we have this area for the creatures. So I think we'll fill this in with another pathway here. Yeah, let's do that. We'll go through and fill this in right there. Okay, I do like that. Now, do I want just 1 area? No, we'll do 2. We'll do 2 here. Yeah, we're going to keep things like this. We'll do the 2 pathways. That way things are still pretty spacious here, not super cramped. And we can add details to things like the roof, for example. And how wide is this? This is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 4x6. Let's go through and replicate that on this side here. These will be for storing the creatures. Have a cool little area where you can park them here. And I think it was here. Yes, it was. And oh no, it's filling in by itself. Don't do that. Do not do that. All right, let's go here. Did I say it was 5? I think I said it was 4, right? It was 4. So we've already filled in 4 here, and then we'll fill this in over here. I think those little ones, yeah, the things on the ground can actually stay. We don't have to worry about those. And let's fill this in here. Is that everything? That sure looks like everything. It does. Let's just double check. 4 by 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Yeah, that is 6. Okay. And then we'll do 1 more double path here. Fill this in. And whoopsies. There we are. It is getting kind of dark, so let me just change it to the daytime so y'all can see again. There we go. And we want to fill this in with a double road as well on the outside here. We'll go up 1 and 2. That way we can just keep this area not so flat, break up the road a little bit. And I think that's how I did on the other side, right? Yes, it is. That is exactly the same. Now we do have this area here in the middle as well. I think we'll make this a bigger house. So what we're going to do now is we want to give this a little bit of a yard. We'll put this right here on the outside. I'm not sure how big we'll make this yet. So let's go over here. Keep this yard all filled in. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. How far did I go? I think that's as far as I went. I think we'll go back again to break up this this road here. Or do we want the road to run underneath it? Decisions. Okay, let's pull this up real quick. Let me figure out how big this house is going to be. So this yard is not very large. I think what we can do is, if we do 2, that still leaves quite a bit of room for the house. And 2 on the outside. I'm kind of liking that yard space here. And then what about over here? Yeah, I kind of want this to go up 2. We'll do 2 on the outside. And then for the house, that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 by... We're going to do it by 3, 5 by 3. Let's take a look here. Oh, there's already 2 and 2, 5 by 4. Okay, so yeah, that's a pretty big house. All right, I like that. Now, do we just run the path directly behind it and cut this off? We could raise this house up 1. Yeah, I think we might raise this up. So the yard will be flat, but then the house will come up. We'll raise this up with walls and some stairs. Now, the only problem with doing that is that we have only 1 layer of yard on the front. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to fill this in with the adobe. Yeah, we'll do that. And we're going to bring the house back, I think 1 more. Let me see here. Just like, oh, don't do it to me. Okay, I might be able to grab this. Maybe? Oh, I saw it. There we go. Let's fill this in. Oops. And yeah, that's pretty far back. I like that. We'll go through and I almost don't want the yard to match. I almost want this to be the stone, so it's kind of like a pathway that leads out like this. Yeah, I think we'll do that. That way, oh man, did it again. It's so unfortunate that it does that. I wish it would not allow that to happen. Because if you're not in creative, it is a giant pain. Okay, I like that. That way the yard's not completely flat with the house. And then we're going to raise the house up some too. I almost want to bring the road out some. Let's see. This is kind of where like my mind starts to play or toy with some ideas here. Let's chop these down so they don't accidentally stick through. And there we go. What does this look like? Okay, so I don't know, actually. I'm not sure if I like that. Let's just stick with it. I don't want to make it overcomplicated. Let's just stick with that for now. The road basically slightly changes as you're progressing, so it's not a complete flat line. You do have all this flat space here. I really like that. All right, now let's go through and build some more establishments. So we have housing here, or we'll have a tower there, a small little house there, tower, a bigger house, some animal pens. Now let's go through and we'll save the dock for last. The dock may not even be done in this episode. I have no idea how far in we are. I think we're about 30 minutes already. Oh geez. Okay. Yeah. This is gonna be a big project. Let's see what we can do to fill the rest of this in. I want to keep things kind of small so these larger buildings really feel extraordinary and pop out while keeping these ones a bit simpler. I think what we can do here is we'll do something very similar then. We will just use this here for the yard. I think I could say for the most part, this is going to be the yard all the way along the outside. If I change my mind, we'll pick it back up, but I think this could be a great place to go through and just fill this whole space in with these tiles here. And hopefully we can prevent some of these resources from growing back too. Let's fill this whole thing in, and we might run into an issue here. For the most part, that's actually okay. All right, we'll fill this all in, and oops, get to the very, very end here. And there we go. So that is all yard for the time being. Now we could go through, I almost like the idea. I was going to put houses facing this way, but I almost like the fact that if we look through here, we might see another house here in the middle. I do kind of like that. So we'll fill this in here too with the yard. We'll put this there and then break this one down since this will prevent us from building. Awesome. And we'll build the yard here. But, so if this is going to be in the middle, this is approximately 1, 2 on this side. Oh, and then we'll need to build a yard up here too, I think. That way it matches this side. So now we're left with 6. So I think what we could do with 6 is we will make, let's see here. What do I want to do? Let's go through and get the wood out. We want, I think the wood, I want this to be elevated, I think. Yeah, so if I want it to be elevated, we're going to need to make the yard a little bigger. We'll go through and put the yard here and here. Again, we're going to figure out the yard details a little later, but that's how we, yeah, I like that. So we'll place down the wood right here, and we'll make this a simple, maybe this here. That way it kind of sticks off on each side. It'll be a 2x4. Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll fill the sides in here with the yard on this side. And we will also do the same thing with the yard in the background. That way we can have room to decorate the actual house. Just like that. And now we will fill in another pathway here. Just like so. Oh no, did it go beneath the ground again? I swear, Ark. Come on. Test them my patience. We are swimming in the water with the fishies. Okay, well that actually kind of works out because now we can interconnect this road so you do still have one road that runs all the way back. I think eventually we will break this up, but oh my gosh. Y'all need to pray for me because I'm gonna snap here. Gonna drive my nuts. Okay, there we go. Really nice. Oh, except so we could just fix that. That's an easy fix. We could just throw down that to break up the yard, I think. And yes, I do like that a lot, actually. It'll be a smaller house because we're going to elevate it. Most likely, actually, we'll probably have it build. Why can I not build where this is? We will have this built right there, like that. That way the stairs come up and there's still like a little balcony area. I am liking that. Now coming over here, we could probably do the exact same thing. So we'll just do this on the outside. We'll turn these into different types of buildings. We will change the shape of them so they're not completely symmetrical here in a minute. It's just the concept is symmetrical. And let's fill this in. How far did we go? We went back 5 in total. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can fill in the rest of the yard here. Yep. I want us to make sure we're doing the exact same thing. Oh, we got sand in the way. Let's pick the sand up here. Thank you. And one more, please. You want to whip? Do I have to land on the ground? I think I do. Come on. There we are. Okay, now let's go through and fill this in here. And how wide was this? The yard on this side is 2 and the yard on that side is 2. If we get in the middle, we'll need to go up 2. So the middle is right here. We'll go up 1, up 2. And then we'll build the wood here, here, and here. And what's preventing me? Oh, it's another sand pile. Come on, sand. We accidentally just picked up that tiny little rock that was right next to us. All right, come on. Perfect. Let's, wait, what did I need? I needed wood. That's right. And wood. And then we could fill this in here with the rest of the sand. And then we could fill this in over here as well with all of the sand. 1, 2 on the outside. Make sure these look the exact same. I'm thinking they do. Yes, they do. And we will go through and fill in the actual road here. And, oh my god. Okay, it's not beneath it. I was about to say. This game is gonna be the end of me. We're canceling all city plans if it doesn't. Okay, let's put this here and fill this in. Oh my goodness gracious. These snap points are wild. I wish there was a way to like just lock snap points to structures like at the same level. I don't believe there is. Okay, there we go. Now the cool thing is by constantly shifting the road up and down a little bit, we're creating kind of this depth. So again, it's not completely flat. So as you can see again, we now have more boxes that are opening up as we're progressing here further. So we've got this that runs down here. That's obviously going to be a little off. Like if you were to build here, you know, you won't necessarily see this side. What we can do then is we could build, yeah, let's build this on the outside. We'll make these kind of small, I think, is what we'll do. Build right here and here and up 1, 2. And we'll do another one of these very basic. Oh, actually, that's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I did not realize that. Well, what do we want to do then? Because we have the yard there. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could just make it another one of those 2x4s. How big is that house there? Yeah, that's fine, because they're all different shapes and sizes. I'm okay with that. So we'll fill this in. Oh, I think I might have to do some more whipping. Get out of my way, sand. Get out of my way. And there we go. Some stubborn sand. Let's get this. And I think I need to pick this one up. Okay. Let's fill this in with the adobe here. And we'll go over here. Perfect. That's looking good. And then we will repeat the exact same thing. Hopefully I can remember this time. It is a 4x2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's just fill that in here, make it easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2, 3, and 4. And then repeat the exact same thing right here. And all right, we're gonna have to do some chopping here. Or not chopping, some harvesting. Oh wow, that got like everything all at once. I like that a lot. There we go. And we will go through and break this down. Now let's fill this in here. Awesome. And then we will finally finish it off with the wood here. And don't you go underground. Okay. Very, very nice. I'm liking this. All right, let's break down all this stuff here in the middle since we're going to need this space in just a moment here. Get all of this broke down. There we go. And we're going to have to manually pick some of these branches up. I forgot we could hold the buttons. I don't have to spam it. So hopefully you hear less button clicking. There we go. We're going to have all the fiber in the world if you're building this in survival. You will be absolutely loaded. Now obviously getting the materials for this will take a very long time in survival, but that's okay. Definitely something you could work towards once you get a decent doid and maybe even a theory or a dinotherium here. Okay, let's get this, and all this. Oh, really? Did I not grab you too? Wait, do these not break down? Oh, they do. They're just being stubborn. These little like one pieces of branch here. Well, definitely, I think the one thing that we will add to the build that is not a mod, just because it's really going to make it vibrant, is utilizing the shovel for Bob's Tall Tales for cosmetic purposes. I mean, just the ability to pick up plants and put them in shovels. Again, that is also expensive in survival. I think it's 50 paste per plant, which is just kind of crazy. But you can stock up on that after a good amount of time, and they do have the large beaver dams here on Ragnarok, so not terrible. Okay, now let's look at this. We've got the yard, or not the yard, we've still got the two roadway here. Let's go through and I think we'll just continue building. I don't know. Do I want to run a yard on the outside? I think I do. I think I want to run this all the way up through here. We'll put this here and around, which we also know can go around the actual house here. We'll do the same thing here. Oh, we're going to run into some sand in a minute. No, Pego. Ah. Darn Pego. And then we will just seal this whole thing in here with the road. On the outside, just it's like playing Tetris. Just fit all the right pieces together here. And yeah, let's fill all this space in here with the actual walkways. Right on, and that should be two like that. I believe that's how I did it on the other side. Oh, I did not fill this in. Whoops, let's fill this in. Like that. Very nice. Now we do have this space here in the middle. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's wrong with this? Why is it not even? Oh, we don't have a... Okay. That was throwing me off. I was like, hello? What is going on here? Okay, so we've got two there. Very nice. A small little box here in the middle, which we can just do. Imagine we're coming from this way. We'll walk back. We'll see this. Let's just make this small, I think. So we'll just fill in some yard. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Let's pick this up, and we'll fill this in with wood here, and then we'll fit that like that. It won't have a backyard. Is that okay? Do I like that? Do I hate that? It needs a backyard. It needs a backyard for sure. When I'm referring to yard, I more mean space around the house, but we're just calling it a yard. Okay, and then with that being said, we have to build up one more here to keep the path with that same 2 thickness, and the same thing over here. Okay, we are making a great deal of progress. We're about halfway there. We've made a load of plots of land here. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to see more, please definitely leave a like and consider subscribing. This took a long time to make, but it's definitely going to be worth it when it's all done. And then I'll see you all later.